Welcome to Cujo Sound, and thank you for joining me here today on this hopefully lovely day in a session of game audio talk, and I'm Bjørn Jacobsen. This video is about Vampyr from DontNod Entertainment and how I, as a game sound designer, take note of some of the solutions that they've used in this game. And in this video, I'll go over some of the more overall sound design of the game. A little disclaimer here. Game Audio Talk is a series of videos that I do, which is all about game audio and checking out games, their solutions, possible issues, things, why are they the way they are, why did they do them the way they did, and why are the solutions the way they are. This is not a review of the game, and I'm certainly not trying to bash the game. This is strictly my observations as a sound designer when I play someone else's game. So have this in mind, that I did not know what they did. I'm trying to decipher what they did, and I'm trying to tell you about it as well. This video may contain minor spoilers. I'm keeping them to a minimum, but you have now been warned. Vampyr, or Vampyr, as it's written on the box, is made by DontNod Entertainment, a French game developer who has previously done really well with games such as Life is Strange. Vampyr was released just now in 2018 and has some really good audio for us to talk about. The game is made in Unreal Engine and it uses Wwise as its audio middleware, so we might as well just use some Wwise examples here. This game is a weird, and that's weird in a good way, combination of good old RPG Vampyr the Masquerade and newer game Murder Soul Suspect. Luckily for us as players, it only borrows from the better of the two, which is good. Now, let's get to it. Right off the bat, in Vampyr, we have a classic introduction and a classic way of creating some very creative voices. This is done by adding reverb to a voice and then reverse it on top of itself. Or reverse the voice, then do the reverb processing, and then reverse the whole thing again.
4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner, 1 prayer for the summoned, called by this song. 'Tis perhaps the countdown
But
to oblivion.
it can also be done by controlling the pitch of the individual layers. Say, if you have one voice, and then you do reverb processing on it, but then alter the pitch up or down on the reverb or the voice itself, and duplicate them on top of itself as well. You can even have the exact same voice at a lower amplitude, but with higher or lower pitch at the same time.
Death.
The first thing that comes to mind when playing Vampyr is that the volume of the footsteps are seemingly very low. They also seem to change a little bit depending on their importance, but it is also so subtle that I do not know if it is my own brain messing with my psychoacoustics focus area.
This is a nightmare. I need to get out of
The footsteps also generally have a very low volume when you're just walking, but they're much louder all of a sudden when you start running. This can seem a bit off-putting, but then again, it also really emphasizes the fact that you are now moving faster.
What's going on? Oh, Mary. What have I done? What's all this about?
Has it fled? Shit, where'd it go?
The footsteps also have really well done material changes, and it's obvious that a lot of time went into making these steps sound alike, and not only have the changes made in materials, but also make sure that the core and actual step of the sound and shoe is not changing. The game also has a lot of sweeteners placed around the world, like here, there is some glass on the floor, which is added on top of the other steps. It's not just a new sample being played. Or maybe it is another sample being played, but it's clearly mixed into sounding correct together with the other shoes. The game also has a nice link between the stamina of the character and his breathing, the clearness of the breathing and the pace. The Vampyr developers must have read every article on how to inform players, because they use both landmarks and weenies in their level design. and they also use flashing icons and glowing objects of interest. Color coding of text and UI elements. Top that with a voiceover that explains what you just did or didn't or can't do.
I cannot enter. It's locked, all right.
You can't go wrong with information here.
I cannot enter.
Also notice here how sound is not necessary to catch your interest, but the glowing object behind this window is clearly showing that later in this game there will be something interesting behind this window or closed door. Vampyr has a really nice ambient setup, which I've actually decided to make a video on its own about, because it requires a little bit more of explanation, and it'll explain the transitions and the ambient setup too. You should check it out, it will come up in a couple of days. The game has a lot of nice changes going on and trying to control the sound and the dialogue. Like, when you engage in dialogue, the camera can move, but the voices are clearly controlled to be either all spread or controlled 2D.
Who is she? What woman?
This is a common mistake that I see in a lot of games, that when the camera suddenly isn't playable any longer, but becomes static, the designers didn't take that into account, that the attenuation of the dialogue may still play a role, and they didn't foresee that outside of the live environment.
Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always
For some
tried to
later
avoid
gameplay,
this.
the heartbeat here also becomes very important. When you have to navigate around the levels and you have to figure out which character to approach in Vampyr mode. That's it for this brief round of Vampyr. And don't forget that the ambient setup video also is coming up in a couple of days. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like and subscribe button right here, and check out the other videos that I've made about game audio on this very channel. And more importantly, if you enjoyed this material and learned something from it, or if you even have a question about it, why not ask it? And why not consider signing up on patreon.com/Cujo Sound, where you for as little as $1 a month can help me sustain this channel and support me and the time and effort I put into creating these videos. This is very important to me, and I would greatly appreciate your support. First of all, because it does take a lot of time to create this content, but also because it is time that I take out of my free time, which I can't always afford to do. So any kind of support makes it more and more possible for me to create content like this and even create better content. You also, when you support patreon.com/Cujo Sound, gain access to a dedicated Discord channel. You also gain access to specific and unique counseling and consulting in regards to your career, project, or whatever you else might need help with. Regardless, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Cujo Sound and Bjørn Jacobsen, signing out.